Okay, May is chaos. The brain is juggling teaching assemblies, testing, student energy. Let's not even talk about how many hours you are working right now. But what if I told you that you could plan all of your ELA lessons for a month in just one afternoon? That's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So grab your planner. You and I are getting this done. Now, before we jump in, I want to talk about why this matters. Planning day to day sounds so flexible, right? So many people argue with me all the time. I've got to plan day to day. But here's what that actually causes. It causes disjointed instruction, constant stress and unnecessary burnout, no time to differentiate. You can't reuse or repurpose anything. And that's why I'm a big believer in batch planning. It is the foundation of everything that we do inside of the EB Teachers ELA portal, because it lets you take control of your time. It is your system that protects you from the system of education. So here's how to set yourself up before you even start planning. So I want you to choose a 2 to 4 hour time block. This is when you're like most focused. Mine is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you might pick a Saturday from 9 to 1. And that's okay. You're gonna, be willing to give that up in order to reap the benefits later, right? So whatever your planning time is, where you are like on it, you're hyper focused, that's when you're gonna choose to do this work. Okay. Now, I also want you to use the concept of Parkinsons Law. And Parkinsons Law states that work expands to the time that you give it. So you want to give yourself a time limit. So like 3 hours, that's it, no more. 3 hour time block, and you can't go beyond it. Now, another little secret that I'm going to have you use is what's called the Pomodoro Method. And if you haven't heard of this before, you basically work in 25 increments and then take 5-minute breaks. And you do that 4 times, and then you take a longer break. We actually wrote our book using the Pomodoro Method because it breaks these large, overwhelming projects down into these 25-minute manageable chunks. So you're picking the time, you're going with Parkinson's Law, that time expands to the amount of time that I think it's going to take me to do something. And so you're only giving yourself 3 hours. And then you're also going to use the Pomodoro Method. So literally I set a timer, 25 minutes, and I am just like dialed in. Phone on silent, no one talk to me, I am focused, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna actually plan, and I'm gonna show you how to plan in our digital planner inside of our portal. But I'm gonna walk you through these steps so that you can do this no matter what planner you are using. So let's go ahead and dive into our digital planner. Okay, so we're just gonna plan May, and I'm gonna show this to you inside of our portal. So the first thing that we're gonna do is choose our texts. So we wanna decide, am I gonna teach a final novel unit, or am I gonna use short stories or poetry to finish out the year? This is going to depend on how much time you have. So I'm actually going to go with 2 short story units, and I'm going to use The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street from the EB portal and see if there are any other resources, any other short stories that would make sense for me. So I'm going to go type in and find how long this is going to take me, about 11 hours. So I'm going to say that's about 2 weeks worth of school. So I'm going to take this unit and I'm going to drop it into my planner, and then I'll show you what I've done after that. Because it's the end of the year, I'm actually going to put 3 weeks, 15 days worth of school for this unit, just to give myself some leeway and some extra time. Since this is reading for literature that this one covers, this particular unit covers mostly reading for literature texts, I'm going to go try to find one more engaging text to use at the very end of the year that is an informational text. So I'm going to go search for that in my resources, and you would search for that in whatever resources that you are using. And I'm going to drop them into my planner, and I'll show you that in just a sec. So I actually decided I'm going to stick with this monster theme, and I'm going to do this Clearwater Monster Speaking and Listening unit. And I'm just going to go ahead and pop that into my planner, and I'll do that really fast with you guys. This is attached to reading for informational text, and I'm going to spend like literally the last part of school doing that and attach that there. So now I've decided what reading units I'm going to do. These are the texts I'm going to cover for the end of the school year. So if I was using my physical planner, I'll just show you a screenshot really fast of what that might look like and how easy it is to sketch that out on your scope and sequence. Okay, now I'm going to plan my writing, but I'm going to plan my writing intelligently, right? I do not want to be grading essays after school is out at all. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to look at my text unit and I'm going to see that this has a response to literature in it. So this is going to count as my final essay in my class, is this Monsters Are Due on Maple Street unit. That's the only thing that I'm going to focus on for my ELA class period. And then I can use that final response to literature as our final essay. And I can use this as a way to teach my students through, right? So I'm working smarter, not harder. And I'm going to have that due on the 23rd, which is going to give me 2 weeks to grade those final essays in my class. Well, the other thing that I want to do is if I wanted to include any other writing at the end of the year, I might do something fun. And in this case, I do the year I was born research paper unit. And I actually have a YouTube video that walks you through how that's structured, but I'm going to plop that into my plans really fast. So bonus, if I want to add grammar and vocab, I can come in and do that too. I'm going to add that in here really fast for you so you can see what that might look like. I added vocabulary in here, and then I added my final verbals unit and the final test that I'm going to do for May. So I've literally planned May in, I'm not kidding you, 5 minutes using our digital planner. The same thing can happen inside of your physical planner as well. And again, I'll show you a quick little video of what that looks like in your physical planner. Okay, so the last part now is to take this from the scope and sequence and put it into your weekly plans. So if I'm just looking at the the class that I was just prepping for, this is really simple inside of our app. But if you're using this in your planner, I'm going to show you where you're going to go to in like the day-to-day. So under vocab, I might put something like all of my words might be listed here. So you can see I went into my week. So I went from my scope and sequence, like this week right here, and I went into my weekly plans and I created that whole week. So this is what I'm doing every single day. And I just took that from my scope and sequence from my Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. And I have my vocabulary here and vocabulary here. Now, if I wanted to add any like extra notes to myself, that's what I might do too. So this looks just the same in your physical planner as it's going to look in your digital planner. And here, your whole month of May is going to be finished in literally less than 3 hours. It's amazing. Okay, easy, right? Especially when you have that digital planner at your fingertips. So I want to give you the recap. Plan your texts, then writing, then grammar. And you're doing all of this in 7 Pomodoros or less. And that is less than 3 hours to finish all of your May planning. So in the next episode that's going to air 2 Tuesdays from now, I'm going to show you exactly how to use your Friday afternoons to set yourself up for stress-free weeks going forward. It's going to make such a difference for you. I did this every single Friday when I was in the classroom, and I actually still do it here at EB, and it's what I require the team to do is on Fridays before they leave for the week, their entire week for the following week is all set up in our done list. So everybody knows exactly what they're doing before they ever head out for the weekend. So if you try this and it works, let me know in the comments and definitely make sure that you subscribe so you get an alert for that next video that I'm dropping later in May. And also send me a direct message on Instagram. Let me know how it went. And if you are an EB Teachers ELA portal member, remember that everything that I just showed you on that digital planner, you can do too. It's gonna make it so much faster for you to plan. And if you're not an EB teacher yet and you wanna be, make sure that you add your name to the priority list at the link below. You can also grab our free batch planning guide to get started on more principles of batch planning at the link below as well. All right, we'll see you guys when the next episode drops.